Big up on yourself, everybody. What's going on? Back here again. All is well. All is well. This is a hot topic out there. Not just because it's popular, but because it's that time. See me? So before we go on everything, just like to touch on one and two things, just to keep us reminded, that we're still in a struggle. We're still in a struggle for our freedom. I know many of us are of the belief that we are free, right? Because we are comfortable, we are educated, we spend our money when we want, we date who we want. So many of us are of the illusion that we are free. So I like to take the time sometimes to just remind us that we're not free, and the goal still is to get free. Some of you might be looking around and saying, "What are you talking about? I'm free. I do what I want to do." Really? Or do you do what they programmed you to do, which is to get along? Never in charge of your own destiny, never making decisions for yourself. Always given a choice, right, of preconditions. You never get the chance to think because we're not taught to be thinkers. Our school and education don't teach us to be thinkers. They teach us to be workers and followers. So, more while my life, remind us of that. See me? And we've seen a situation here taking place in Africa. And I know many of the young generation might not be familiar with the extent of it. Big up on yourself, people. I'm soon forward. Yeah, man, forward. All right, people. All right, my peoples. Yes, as may I said, before we get night programming up, I'd like to remind us that our time now, just look around the world and at all the things that's happening, all the things that are going on. You understand? And realize, yo, our time, and we all have to play with position. You understand? So, so I just like to take, times when I can to remind us of that we're still in a struggle. We're still in a struggle for freedom. As I said, most of us live so comfortable that we don't realize that we're not free. We're still in slavery. We're not in control of our own destination. You know, we don't think for ourselves. We're not taught to think for ourselves. We're taught to be workers. We're not taught to be free. We're taught to follow along and to get along. You understand? I saw them set the thing for us. You see, now, it's enough Jamaicans might feel say, where go on in Africa don't concern them. You know, you couldn't be any more wrong if that's your thought. A lot of us have lost even that idea of freedom. You know, a lot of our owns you're going to find there, they will be obstacles. They will be our own obstacles to that path to freedom. They're comfortable being slaves. They don't want no change. They don't want to think for themselves. Okay? They enjoy eating the crumbs that falls from the master's table. Understand? I mean, just look how it is set for us really in the system here. Everywhere you look for black people, we're at the bottom. And a great movement is happening in Africa. And I'm proud to say that Jamaica itself, back from the time of Marcus Garvey, has been playing a role in steering this great thing that's happening in Africa. Because no matter where you go throughout the world, and you mentioned the struggle of black people, you cannot leave out Marcus Garvey, who's one of our national heroes. His words are coming to pass now. It's happening. Africa is moving. They all dancing. They all slowly starting to dance to the same tune now. Okay, and I think the rest of us need to pay attention to it and to join it. The time is at hand where we start to bring our leaders to bear and hold them accountable. The time is at hand for us to totally sever the tentacles of colonialism. Okay? The time is at hand for us to get away from this false democracy. You understand? Because democracy, as we have known it, has not benefited us at all. If you look at all the countries, right, who have been able to make strides, not just for the government, but really for their people. You look at a lot of those Muslims in Arab countries, they don't have leaders switching like that every minute. A leader could never get a chance, a good leader could never get a chance to fulfill his plans, right? Now, I'm not saying we need to set systems like that, like monarchs. No. But if a leader is doing good and doing the right thing, then why change them? Right? Now, we the people can set the system as such to where when a leader do fuck up, we ain't gotta wait till the next election to replace him. Just like in a job, when you on a job and you fuck up, before all the facts are comes in, what they do, they put you on some suspension, put you on some type of leave, some type of probation, pending investigation. Same should be for our leaders. When they fuck up, they go on suspension, pending their investigation. They should never be given the right to railroad that investigation, as our leaders are able to do. They should be stripped of their powers immediately and set aside pending the investigation, right? And we would install the runner-up or the vice, or the system is set as such, right, that we have an immediate replacement. When your leader's in a position operate like that, you'll find that he'll be more honest. The same criteria and standards that they hold the average worker to. I don't see why our leaders should not be held to that same standard. Our leaders should not have the power to railroad any investigation, should not have the power to stop any officer from investigating them, any investigator from investigating them in any way. They should always be walking on eggshells in service of the people. Now, if our leaders have to function this way, then how you think our law enforcers have to carry out their duties? Because they know if it can happen to the leader, it could damn sure happen to them. That's fear. So Jamaica has always been in the struggle for the freedom and liberation and unification of Africa. Of recent generations, that ideology has faded. They have used all type of mechanism to do so. Education, entertainment, poverty, all these things to distract us, to make us forget, to make us tired. We don't have the will to fight anymore. We just saying like, ah, man, you got it, man. This ain't no street fight, yo. This is not a street fight. So there's no, all right, man, you got it. You see? So I like what Ibrahim Torre, I carry on with Obed. That just got for me. You see? Yeah. Many before him have tried, but he's actually doing it, learning from the mistakes made by those before him. And at present, it's clear that the United States, the UK and France, Germany, all these countries that was sucking Africa dry is now losing their influence and their grip and power over Africa. And they will stop at nothing to stop that reality. Okay? So it's incumbent upon us to remind ourselves and each other that the mission is not complete as yet. Right? And that's what I'm taking that's what I'm taking my time to do. To remind those of us who needs to be reminded. What's going on in the world.